Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube universe, what is going on with you on this Wednesday afternoon? It is Wednesday, April 10th, 2024, roughly 3:50 p.m. California time. I'm, of course, your always gracious host, Fallon from GoNootropics.com, coming at you with the coffee. Cheers. Thank you for popping through, checking this video out. Thank you for all you guys who've been purchasing the books. You guys have been checking my Kratom books out, which is very cool. For those interested, I'll link you guys below. These are my two Kratom books. I got one on quitting and one just kind of general info. But you guys have been buying those, supporting the channel, leaving reviews. So much appreciated to you guys. As you know, we ended the 3-day fast, I believe, yesterday, which, went in some ways good and in some ways bad. Honestly, I don't think I'm healthy enough to be fasting right now. It didn't go as good as my previous fast went. It was kind of like really exhausted, really tired, which is kind of normal, but in the past, it's like that symptom usually stabilizes by day number 3, and this time it did not, and so they say if you're gonna fast and you're unhealthy or you're addicted to carbs or whatever, to kind of get keto adapted first before you go on the fast, which I think is good advice. And especially if you're super lean, like 135 pounds, 5'11", fasting just might not be healthy if you're super lean, because you will drop weight. I continue to drop weight fasting, and overall I just don't think I was really healthy enough to do it. But did it help the Kratom pause, the post-acutes? Did the fasting help kind of burn off these residual Kratom symptoms? Here on whatever day it is, day number 2023 or something, I've lost track of the days at this point. But there's still these lingering symptoms, which could be the Kratom or could be some other underlying issues, right? It could be something else completely, entirely different from the Kratom. I have no way to know. But as you know, I've been digging into this guy, Ray Peat. If you haven't gone down the Ray Peat rabbit hole and you're into health, I'd recommend checking some of these guys out. Ray Peat is dead at this point, but there's still a lot of his followers out there who will tell you, this is what Ray thought, and you could go and read Ray's writings. And I'm not saying he has the truth or he has this or that, but he does have a lot of interesting ideas, and he's really big on hormones, like the endocrine system, and having a good functioning thyroid, right? Just good hormones and good metabolism in general. He believes is like the keys to health. You should be able to metabolize sugar. You should not eat sugar and then get this kind of reactive hypoglycemic response like what happens to me. You see these Ray Peaters out there, and they're a big fan of the Mexican Coke. If you've been down the rabbit hole, you know this. These guys are drinking the Mexican Coke because the Mexican Coke has real cane sugar and none of the high fructose corn syrup. So they're drinking these Mexican Cokes. So I'm like, you know what? I'm sold. We broke the fast with some admittedly terrible foods. some really bad foods. We went to the store and just got pizza. We did not check the ingredients, so we loaded up the cart with the Mexican Cokes, the ice cream, the pizza, which of course had the soybean oil in it. You go to the store on day number 3 of your fast, when you're about to break the fast, and you're not thinking straight, man. All you're thinking about is ice cream, pizza, and Mexican Cokes. And that proved to kind of be a disastrous combination of foods to break the fast. The next time I do it, I think it's a good idea to have the healthy foods you want already in the house, because you're just day 3 without food, you're not thinking clearly at all. You're just thinking sugars, you're thinking carbs, you're thinking junk foods. This is what the body craves, right? So that's kind of what we did. And I drank that Mexican Coke, and yeah, you feel good for a little bit, but at least for me, I immediately fell into, this hypoglycemic response, really low blood sugar, shaky, feeling like you have to continually eat. And, that's not healthy if you're having that type of reaction with sugar. Like a healthy body should be able to stabilize your blood sugar. Whether you're eating fat, sugar, or whatever else, a healthy body will assimilate those nutrients and keep your body and your blood sugar stable. And in my case, it did not. So I'm digging more into Ray Peat, more into the keto stuff, kind of experiencing some of these health issues coming off of Kratom, and just wanting to get down to the root cause and fix some of these problems that just kept me going back to Kratom. If you're feeling low energy, fatigue, depression, apathy, you're going to go to Kratom, because that's kind of like a Band-Aid solution. It does help. It did help me, and until it didn't. Using Kratom, it did provide that energetic boost. It did provide these nice things until it didn't. And then you really have to dig deep into this stuff, man. The doctors aren't going to help you. So you're kind of on your own, and you're kind of like looking into Ray Peat, like, maybe this dude has the answer. And so he's about thyroid hormone. He's about the endocrine system. He's about properly metabolizing glucose and this and that. So he had this test, a very simple test. It's not his test. Somebody else came up with it. But it's a way to easily test the thyroid at home. And it's super simple. You wake up first thing in the morning and you just take your temperature. Your temperature's going to be lower at the start of the day, and then you'll progressively get hotter throughout. And if you take your temperature in the morning, it should be somewhere around, I think, 97.6 or something like that. It should be pretty close to 98 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like a good temperature to wake up at. That's a good temperature. That's a healthy body temperature. And if it's much lower than that, it could indicate problems with your thyroid, like an underactive thyroid. And I woke up today, took my temperature, 95.4, ladies and gentlemen, which is nearly hypothermic. And I measure it throughout the day. And right now, I think I'm at about like 96.5 or something. It's slowly starting to raise, but it's nowhere near a healthy body temperature at all. So this would suggest, an underactive thyroid. Did the Kratom wreck the thyroid? Who knows? Did I have this problem before I started taking the Kratom? Maybe that's why I started taking the Kratom. You have this underactive thyroid hormone. You're tired. You're irritable. You're not feeling good. You're sluggish all day. You've got no energy, which check. That's basically been me for as long as I can remember. When I say things like animate the carcass and dragging the husk, this is because this is how I feel. Like most days I wake up, it's just hard to motivate. It's hard to, do anything. And, you feel like lazy, and you think there's something wrong with you, and there probably is. So I've been testing the temperature. This could be indicative of an underactive thyroid, which you could treat in a number of ways. We've got Lugol's iodine, which iodine's very important for the thyroid, for producing thyroid hormone. So we took Lugol's iodine, a couple drops of that on the skin, and maybe this will help. Who knows? right? The iodine's very, very important, and it's not in the foods. It's no longer in the soil. We used to get a lot of the iodine from our food intake and this and that. It's no longer there, so it has to be supplemented unless you're eating, kelp or seaweed or something like that, which nobody eats. Like, who's eating seaweed, right? So a temperature of 95 degrees, give or take, is very hypothermic. It's not good, which is probably the cause of a lot of my problems. We took Christine's temperature. She's fine. She's at the normal temperature, and I'm like super hypothermic, which makes sense because I'm always cold. It's freezing. I generally don't warm up till kind of the end of the day. And even at the end of the day, my temperature is not really where it should be at all. So could this be a problem with the thyroid? Is this, are these lingering symptoms from my years of Kratom usage? Was this present before I took the Kratom? There's no way to really know for sure. All I know is, some of these problems were present before I started taking the Kratom, but they did seem to accelerate the more and more I took Kratom. So after years of Kratom use, coming off of it, dealing with the withdrawals, and now waking up with this hypothermic body temperature, there's something rumbling below, ladies and gentlemen. Something's going on. So we hope the iodine fixes it. We hope the selenium helps as well. Been taking some of that. And, from there, you just hope. From there, you just hope some of these problems resolve itself. And, coming off of Kratom, you are going to have these health problems that were masked by, the Kratom. When I was taking Kratom, I was more or less like, it did animate the carcass. It did reanimate the husk every morning. The Kratom and the caffeine, go to work, good to go. Come back, just start it over until the side effects of Kratom became, just so annoying, so troubling, so in my face I couldn't ignore it. But now we got to look for these alternative solutions, right? You got to look elsewhere because nobody's really coming to save you. The Kraken's not going to save you. The doctor's not going to save you. Your friends really don't know what's going on. And so you just kind of hope one of these guys like Ray Peat or some of these alternative herbalists, like they know, right? And you just kind of test and you experiment. And I think this temperature test is kind of putting me on the right track of figuring out what's going on. If you could solve the thyroid problem, if you could stabilize your blood sugars, that'll put you in a pretty good place. If you're somebody who's like reactive hypoglycemic, you eat sugar and then you immediately crash, well, your metabolism is messed up. You should be able to consume sugar. It's like the thing with this keto stuff is the keto's not really solving the problem. It's eliminating the carbs, which you really don't want to do, and it's reducing your blood sugar in one way, but it's not really like fixing your metabolism. Like you should be able to consume sugar, right? If you can't, you should be able to drink a Mexican Coke and then eat an avocado later and have stable blood sugars. You shouldn't have to just cut out an entire food group just to feel good. So we got to fix a lot of these problems. And so we're here just keeping the train rolling, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Lugol's iodine, and we'll see where that takes us, right? We'll see where that takes us. Fallon, GoNootropics.com. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you very soon. Peace.